Hey everybody, I'm Greg.
I'm Katie.
And today we are actually starting a new series of videos that'll come out once a month.
Gonna last a couple years.
Yeah, if you listen to our podcast, we did a board game challenge for the 2022 year. We've always done it from what,
We've been doing it
2019
for
or so. We started
a couple years now, yeah.
We always do a challenge for ourselves for every year to try and do certain board games. Well, this year we have decided that from January 1st to
25 games isn't enough.
Whenever it gets done. That's why we said 2022 and beyond game challenge. And what we're doing is we were playing both. We've combined both
our collections
together, our personal collection and our traveling collection together. And we're going to play every single game in alphabetical order.
Right.
So we are playing from what is
the
it?
10 days series all the way to Zombicide.
So
it's going to take a few years, most likely. Last count are the combination of both collections. Now, keep in mind, we're not going to stop buying games. You know, both collections are going to grow, especially ours.
Yep.
Last count, we had 1,675 games. Now, there are some duplicates in there. Some games that we have in both collections now. We'll only play those once, or how many times we we feel like we need to talk about them. But it's going to take a while.
Yeah, it's going to take a long time.
Yeah. So just a little background about our collections. Obviously, we started collecting in, oh gosh, it must have been 20. No, the other collection started in 2014-15 area. We started in roughly 2012, 2013. Something like that. I don't remember.
We're old. We forget things.
Oh, speak for yourself. Anyway, so we've been collecting ourselves for almost 10 years now. And our collection is, which isn't
that long compared to some other
people we know. Yes. So we've amassed probably close to 600 games in this room is where we're currently sitting at. And I'm happy with that number. I don't think it's going to grow much. It'll just shift.
We've got to the point where now if games come in, games have to go out and they end up, they'll either go into the travel collection or we'll sell them.
Yeah. One of the two, depending on how we feel about them.
And that's why we're doing these videos, is because we're going to go through the entire collection and get rid of them.
And get rid of some stuff. Yeah. So a little background on the other collection before we get started. The other collection was started roughly 2014, 2015-ish. We decided at that point, we had been working with the local high school's choir department for about 8 years. Both of our boys had gone through all 4 years of choir. We stuck with it even after they left because we fell in love with the director, we fell in love with the kids, and we fell in love with the program. I ran all of the finances and all the fundraisers. That was my job. That I took on for the director. So one of the fundraisers we came up with was doing a board game night, something fun, something to get the kids to unplug, get their families to unplug. And we ran it in the cafeteria for once a month for a few months. And it started out pretty successful. And then it just kind of dwindled off as we got further into winter, ironically. And we were competing with football, which did not help at all. Because we're a very big football school. So in the process of building for those events, though, I started Goodwill shopping and trying to find a lot of mass market editions of stuff that we did not personally own because we didn't play a lot of those. Your Sorries, your Monopolies, your Lifes, all of those mass market games. Slowly that collection built and it's now up over 1,000 games. We don't do the game nights with the choirs anymore. However, this collection has now transitioned into more of a travel collection where we are taking them to special events at different schools. We've done a couple events at elementary schools for open house nights or parent nights. We've done a couple of choir competitions. And we were just starting to really ramp up this idea when COVID hit and no more school events.
Yep.
So,
but now they're starting back up.
Now things are starting back up. We're going to let this season kind of pass by, and then maybe next school year we'll start really trying to hit it hard again. But in the meantime, we need to cull this collection down just a little bit. 1,000 games is way too many. We are never taking that many games to any event. I would love to get this collection down to about 2/3 of that, to about the 600 range, maybe 750 at the most. But
anyway,
so that's where we sit. So that's one reason, as you said, that's why we're playing through this collection and why we're doing this.
So this month we played a bunch of the
We
numbered
started
games.
with the numbers.
So since we said we're starting with 10 days and going all the way to Zombicide, we will start with 10 days. We only have 2 of these in the collection.
Okay.
We have Africa and we have Europe. We played both of them.
Yes. And I love these games. I don't know why. They are super simple, but I love these games. Both
Africa
games
had planes.
Yes.
But they were just like the small puddle jumper planes, if I'm not mistaken.
Yeah, they had the puddle jumper planes and the Jeeps.
There was a little bit of difference in between the both.
Every one in the series has something just a little bit different.
And Europe has the large jets and the ships.
Yeah.
Because you can go over canals and different stuff.
Basic information. Both games were put out by Out of the Box Games. They were designed by Alan Moon and Aaron Weisblum. I think that's how we pronounce it. Art in both cases was John. Oh my gosh, I'm going to pronounce your name wrong, John. Kovalik, John Kovalik and Kathleen Quinn Kinney. 10 Days in Europe was put out in 2002. Our copy, though, is a 2013 edition. 10 Days in Africa was put out in 2003, and this is the 2003 edition. Both games play 2 to 4 players, average 20 to 30 minutes each, which I think is about right. And recommend ages 10 and up. I think that's about right also. So setup on both of these, super easy. I mean, you put the board out, you shuffle a few cards, you're done.
You deal cards.
Yeah, you deal 10 cards to each person.
Each game comes with a board, which is useless. All it is a map in front of you, so you know where everything's at. You don't put anything on the board.
Nope,
everything goes in your little trays there.
Yeah.
And what you're doing is you're trying to get the little, they're not cards. They're like cardboard tokens.
They're card stuff.
Large.
So they are, I mean, they're cards.
Yeah, quality is really good.
Yeah,
it's out of the box. Out of the box usually has pretty good.
The trays are great. So the cards all stand up in the trays. They're engraved.
And the trays tell you that each day. So you're trying to make a 10-day trip.
Yeah.
And you got to be able to connect them. Like if you put 2 countries side by side, you got to be able to drive to it.
Yeah.
But if you want to go from one country to another country that's on the other side of the board, you have to have a plane and they have to match.
They have to match colors. Yes.
In Europe, you have the ships, which are over here, and the planes there. I'm trying to do this on the screen, but not working too well.
Yeah.
But
see,
and I think in this one, there was a big difference between the two from, this also had the vehicles.
Yes, this had the Jeeps
and the
puddle jumpers. So you could drive from one to the other. Well, no, you can walk from one to the other. Driving, I think, allowed you to cross over a country. So you could go from South Africa up to Zimbabwe or something, allowed you to cross over.
Says automobiles allow you to travel through one country to get to another country.
So it allowed you to skip a country. Whereas planes, and this works the same in both.
So you could be in, let's get an easy one, Algeria, and want to go to Mozambique. So you would have to have this color of a plane too, to fly from here to here and then start your trip some more. And you can fly as often as you want, but you have to go from. You
couldn't do 2 planes in a row.
Yeah, you had to go from one country on a plane to another country, and then you could take another plane to another country and jump around like that. Now, I had heard that these games were supposed to, because there's 4 of them. We only have the 2. We've only been able to find the 2. But you're supposed to be able to put all the games together and play it as one big game. I could just imagine that.
Oh my gosh.
But you're trying, like you said, you're trying to get them in order from day 1 to day 10. And the way you're going to do that is you're going to take tiles that are.
It's technically discard piles. There's a stack and then there's 3 discard piles.
Okay.
And whenever you put, I forgot it. Whenever you can either take one from a discard pile and trade it with one on your board, or you can take one from the stack and trade it with your board. But either way, the card you're taking off your board goes back into one of the 3 face-up discard piles.
That was one of the different things. And here you could trade
You could actually
cards
spend a turn
in your
trading.
thing. Yeah, you could trade, but the other one you could not
No.
do that.
You could only trade with the
The only
discard
way you
piles.
could, yeah, you could trade, because I think it's Africa, you could trade amongst the cards you have. You
Yes.
just swap places with them.
Yeah, which makes it a little
It
simpler.
makes it a lot easier. This one, though, you cannot do that. You'd have to trade with the
Yeah,
deck. So you like, I still need this one though, but it's not in order. So, but that's the one I need. So I
Yeah.
can trade it with this and just hope that it doesn't. But you can only trade with the top card.
Yeah, you can't dig through the discard pile.
So
You have to do the
it
top
makes it a
card,
little bit harder.
especially with
so
more players. We've only ever played
When
this
you
two-player,
you
I
got
think.
these at Goodwill.
I got
didn't
these
you?
at Goodwill.
Both of
I paid
these
$3
from
each for
Goodwill.
these.
Yes.
Um,
And this one wasn't even open, was it?
I don't.
I thought
remember.
one of them was not open when we found it.
It's very possible. They
When
were
she
both in
first got it, I
excellent
was like,
direction.
I'll never win this game, because she used to be a travel agent. So she knows a lot where
That
all the
has
countries are at.
nothing
And
to
everything.
do
It has
with
nothing to do with
anything.
it.
No.
But she's a great organizer too. I mean, no, if you ever look at my work track, you're like, well, how's he finding them?
You won both these
Anything,
games.
I've
when we
won the
played
last
this
3
month.
games, I think, of this. You usually beat
I
me,
think
but here in the
I
last couple
overthink
times,
myself on these.
I've been beating you
Yeah.
a whole lot.
I
these.
overthink on these, and I try to make it too perfect, and I get beat every time. So
And I originally did not like this game, but the more we've played it,
I really like these
because
games.
because when we started saying, okay, games have to leave, I put these up like, okay, yeah, I don't play these that often, but the more we
They're
play,
not
it's like,
going
no,
anywhere.
they're going to stay.
And these are actually in our collection. These
Yeah,
aren't
these
in
are
the
still in
travel
our
collection. These are in our collection.
We do pull it out every once in a while and play these if you
They're-
want something light and
They're quick,
easy. And
easy, and light.
and it's a game now I think I can beat her more than she can beat me. So as many games as I can get that I can do that with, I'm going to keep them.
Right now, I really
So-
like these. These are definitely staying in the
So
collection.
these are staying in the personal
Yep.
collection. And if you have never played it, get one.
Try one.
They're
Like
a
I
lot
said,
of
I
fun.
know I saw USA in Saltires one time,
Mhm.
and I wish I had grabbed it.
And like I said, the components are great, but they're a lot of fun. Like I said, the board has nothing to do with the game other than so you know where they're at.
It's a great geography lesson.
Yes,
I
yes.
love these.
These
Yeah.
would go
Okay.
great in like a middle school
Oh yeah,
classroom.
these would be
They
great. in,
would
like, a
learn
middle
where the
school
countries
classroom.
are at.
That's a great. Yep.
Okay,
10-day series. Highly recommend them.
so our next game on the list, if you notice, we're not going in too big of an order.
No.
We just played all the number games.
Yeah.
This is a little bitty card game called 789. You're gonna have to remind me how we play, what this was all about.
Okay, so this one, the
Oh,
only way to
yes,
explain
now
this
I
is to actually
remember.
look at the cards. So this one is, like I said, just a little bitty card game.
I remember
All
now.
the cards have a primary number on them,
And then a
and
plus or
then
minus
a
number.
plus or minus number. So the goal on this one is to, what was the
You
goal?
deal
To get
out all
rid
the
of Yeah, you
cards.
deal out all the cards.
And then you're trying to get rid of your cards before they get rid of theirs.
Yes.
Because there is no turn order. You play them as soon as you
No,
can.
yeah, because you're
'Cause
literally drawing
It's kind
cards
of like
back into
the
your
old
hand.
game of, what was it, Slapjack or something like that, where you're playing cards out and you're slapping it with that, or
Oh.
something like that. But yeah, there's
Yeah,
it's a
how I
total
should
chaos
play
game.
that.
But I can remember the game now. So like say
Okay.
if the 6 was on the thing on the board is the top card, it has a +1 -1. So you could play a 5 or a 7
Yep.
on it. And like if you have a 6
Whoever
and
has-
you have
can get
that
there the
7 or 5, you can
fastest.
throw it out there fastest, but you can't like say I had the 5 and I played this 6. I can't like put them together.
Yeah, you
I
can't
can't
play them at the
lay
same
them
time.
at the same time. I'd have to lay down one
And then the
and
other.
then lay the other one down. So it's pretty much who has the fastest math skills.
Yes. Oh my gosh, yes.
Because like this 3 is a +3 -3. So the -3 would mean you can play a 9 on it because it
Yes,
it goes
it goes
back around
backwards.
because
All the cards
-3
are-
is 0 and there is no 0 cards
Right.
in here. So you go back around to a 9.
Yep.
And then +3 would be a 6. So you could play 6 or 9. And it caught us sometimes like going, my math,
We had to stop and
I
think for a
can't math
second.
anymore. But it was actually fun.
It was
This
a
is
cute little
actually
game.
this game is in the travel collection.
Yes.
It'll probably stay there.
So some basic information on this one. This was put out by Out of the Box Games as well. Designed by Maureen Huron, and under artist, there were several people listed.
Mhm.
Um,
Not a lot of art. in
not
the
a lot of
game.
art. I mean, it's pretty basic art.
Yeah.
So this
Just
was published in
numbers.
2009. 2 to 4 players, says ages 8 and up. Takes about 5 minutes to play. Yeah, I'd say probably closer to 10. Depends on how fast your math skills are.
Mhm.
like I said, super easy to set up. You deal all the cards out, put one in the center to start the game, and you're pretty much done.
Yeah.
Very basic, but a lot of fun. I think
So,
it'll
yeah.
definitely stay in the collection. It's easy to transport.
And
It'll
easy
go
to
on our
teach.
small game shelf, and it's easy. Yeah, super easy to teach.
And it teaches math skills. And where we're taking the collection is mostly the schools. There you go.
I could see teenagers having a ball with this
Mhm.
guy. I really could. So yeah, I could see this one being a lot of fun to play
Mhm.
with a group of teenagers. So yeah, 789. It is staying in the collection.
Mhm.
All right, next.
Next, we have 5-second rule.
Did you hear that?
That was the timer going off.
Okay, hold on.
You
All right,
have to
so
show the timer.
I have to show the timer.
This
'cause
timer
this
is
the best part of the game.
the best timer I've ever seen.
Okay, so come on, come out of there. There we go. There's the timer.
And then the cards. That's all there is in the game.
That's it. So this is the timer. So the premise of the game, first of all, let's do the basics here. Designed by Michael Sistunk. I wrote it down. I can't read my handwriting.
I can't read that either.
Published by Patch Products. So this is published in 2010. 3 to 6 players. Takes about 30 minutes to play. Depends on how high and what your goal number is. Ages 10 and up. I think that depends on what side of the card you play with.
Mhm.
Premise of the game. One person takes out a card. They're double-sided, so you have 2 different sides to the card.
One side's harder.
One
supposedly.
side seems harder. Like, for instance, the yellow side here on this one is name 3 gas stations. The red side is name 3 hair products. So one person reads the card. The person next to them has 5 seconds. Literally, while the little balls are rotating down.
It didn't make the sound.
The dog is. Oh, it didn't. Oh,
There we
it
go.
goes.
And
So-
that goes so quick.
It does. 5. That does not feel like 5
No,
seconds.
it doesn't.
So, but you have the span of that last,
The last
ball
ball to come out
bearing
there.
hitting the bottom,
To come up
to
with
come
your
up with your
3
answers.
answers.
and you would think it would be easy.
Oh, it is not.
3 hair products. How hard is that?
We played this
Yeah,
with
not
Justin,
easy.
Jackie, our son and daughter-in-law.
And Jackie and I were horrible at this. I mean, horrid.
I think I won this
Okay,
game, didn't
so in my defense, though, yes, you and Justin tied.
I?
In
Yes.
my defense, my first question was name 3 slogans. I got 1 out in 5
Mhm.
seconds. So it's a fun game, a lot of laughs. I mean, we laughed pretty hard at this one, even for just the short
Well,
little
just
time
the
we played it.
sound got us laughing.
Yes, it did.
It just makes
It
weird
did.
sounds.
So I think it's going to stay in the collection.
Mhm. I can see the
It's-
kids.
yeah, I can
at
see kids
school
having a good
functions
time with this
liking
one.
this.
Nice little easy party game. You play for 10 minutes, you put it away, you're done. It's a fun little game. So, but that's the basics of 5-second rule. All right, next.
Okay. Now we come to the first one we think we're
5.
going to, that's possibly leaving the collection. This is 39 clues.
Yeah.
I looked up what 39 clues was. I did not know this, but this is a series of teenage books.
Interesting. Okay.
So, I mean, the game is from ages 8 and up. So it's children's, teenage, those kind
Yeah.
of years books about going around the world and looking for these 39 clues.
Okay. Well, that makes more sense why it's named that way then, because
Yeah,
we
but
couldn't
I
figure
don't
out
know
what the
really
name meant.
if this
Okay.
really holds the.
So basic information first. This was published in 2009 by University Games, had no designer or artist listed. They were
Mhm.
uncredited. 2 to 4 player, 30 minutes, maybe if you're lucky. 8+ on
Mhm.
age. So it is essentially a trivia game.
Mm-hmm.
That is the essential piece of it. So the board is
Basically the
The
map
world
of
map.
the world.
with a number of cities listed. That's it. There's
So
the board.
then you're gonna roll a die. Where did the dice go?
That's a
Roll
colored die.
dice.
And that tells you which continent you're going to.
Yeah, and then you start at the beginning.
Mhm.
So like if I rolled blue, I'd come up here to Virgin. And then I would answer
Yep.
a question. There
Yep.
is no questions that are just for the blue or the
No.
colors. It's all
They're
in the
not-
same
it's all the
stack.
same thing. Yeah.
And you're gonna answer a question. If you get that right, you move down. You keep moving down till you answer the question wrong.
Yeah.
And then the next round, you will roll the dice again, and you're gonna take each
Each player has,
player has these little clear chips.
Yep.
You're going to put it on the last city you got the question right on. And then you're going to fly to the new question and start answering questions over there.
Yeah.
There's also cards in here that is going to make you move.
Yep. Those
Or it'll make somebody else move.
They should do something to somebody else.
Yeah. And the whole point of the
yeah.
game is you're trying to get these keys. I don't know if you can see those keys. Those keys.
First player with 3 keys.
First player with 4 keys,
keys
and there are places there. So if you get all the way down here where an answer, like in the purple one, it's soul, has a key beside it. If you answer that question correctly, now you have the purple key.
Yep.
There's also cards in there that you can take a key from somebody.
Yep. Or you have to give a key to somebody else. So yeah.
The bad thing is once you have a key on there and then you end up rolling, you got to go back over there. Now you're answering questions and you're not going to get any rewards out of it.
No. Because you can only have 1 key of each color. And there's only 2 keys put on each country. So, or each continent. So if both keys are gone and you're stuck there, if it's more the players than just the 2, then you can't get any benefit out of it anyway, because there's no keys there.
Yeah. And the other part is if you're on the country, somebody pulls a clue card that is going to force you to go to another color. You're going to get over to that color. But you're not going to answer any questions over there because when it's your turn, you're going to roll again and you're going to go someplace else.
Yeah.
So it's kind of.
So we
really try. I really tried to like
this. We played this twice. Yep. We played this twice, and I liked some of the questions weren't that bad. The questions actually were not horrid. Like this one
well, there's some
is
questions we had no idea. Like, and,
right.
And then after I found out what 39 clues was, I'm not going. Kids know these answers.
Right. Some of them weren't bad. Some of them weren't bad. Like this one here, named after a former Southeast Asian communist prime minister, also goes by Gaison, Gaison. Now, typically when they capitalize these like this, that means that the letters are mixed up. It's so this country was at war from 1959 to 1975, and
I
then
had that clue and actually guessed it right.
Yeah, and then hint, and it gives you a bunch of blank spaces letters. And the word city. So you can see that. Here. Oh, there you go. Thank you. So, I mean, the answer was Ho Chi Minh City. Now, I did kind of like the fact that, well, they didn't have a book. All the answers, there's tiny little numbers.
Yes.
On the cards, and all your answers are on the side of the box.
So if the box is sitting there on the side of the numbered card that you actually have, all you gotta do is look down and see the answer. I would have rather had another book with all the answers in it.
Yeah. I mean, yeah, you might have been able to. I had to get my glasses just to read the stupid numbers. They were so small, but whatever. So this one is definitely leaving the collection. We have so many trivia games and they don't come off the shelf very often, if ever. So we definitely need to pare that shelf down some anyhow. And
so
we
don't enjoy it. We don't.
This game was painful.
Yeah.
This game was painful.
This was. We got halfway through. I was like, how long do we have to go with this game?
Yeah. So this one will be.
Apparently, it was a popular children's novel set.
Yeah, I don't know. Okay. Well, that was 39 clues.
Okay. So now the next grouping is some more pairing of different types of games.
Yeah, it's amazing how many we have from the same series. So start off with.
So the next series is 21B Baker Street, also with the Master Detective, the Time Machine.
We actually had a third one.
But it
turned out to be the exact same way. There's just an older copy. So we got rid of it. So, all right. So some basic information. Both games were published by John H. Hansen Company. Both were designed by Antler Production and Jay Moriarty, artist Antler Production on both sets. This one was first published in 1975. Our copy, this is the 2016 version.
Now you actually bought this copy of it.
I found this copy at Target on clearance for like $7. And I knew that
it was a game I was really interested in playing.
You wanted to play it. So I thought for $7 it was worth it. This guy was published in 1996. Both of ironically, okay, they both list 2 to 6 players. This one says 10 and up and takes 90 minutes. I don't know. I think it took us probably about an hour, but then again, if you're playing with 10-year-olds, it might take longer to put all the pieces together. This guy says 12 and up and takes 45 minutes. Personally, I think this one takes longer. I thought it did because there's more spots.
Well, this one
here so now the differences between
this one here is just pretty much some made up crimes
this is
that
all
you're going
made up
around to try and
crimes.
solve. This one here, it's a time machine, and you're actually going back, and this box is upside down on the back, so I can't read the back. This actually has crimes that was committed over the years. Like the first one we played was the Black Dahlia murders.
Yeah.
They have the Zodiac killers, the CB Cooper heist or DB Cooper heist, Jimmy Hoffa's disappearance.
Yeah, we haven't played very
This
many
also
of these.
has the Simpson Goldman murders. What's some of the more? The Lindbergh kidnappings. Just some really, and then there's some really ones that were made up because where was that one at? Jack the Tripper. So it's Holmes solves the incredible mysteries of Three's Company's Nielsen's success. So, you know, but
yeah,
a lot of them we played the Black Dahlia, and we started the it was the Kennedy murders.
It was we did
the Camelot conspiracy.
We did part one of the
and that one I just didn't have as much fun. I loved doing the Black Dahlia one.
Yeah.
The Kennedy one, I was just having so much trouble putting things together.
Yeah. I put it together pretty quickly, but I think we both got to the center at literally the same round.
Yeah. Yeah, and most of mine were guesses when I got to. I was like, they've been talking about this guy so much. This has got to be the person we're talking about. So
here, this one, like I said, totally made up. This one you can actually see the board on the back, so I won't pull the board out. But that's the board. You're literally going around the streets of London to different places, and each place gives you each location. There's a book that gives you all of the answers, and you each card, I can pull the cards out, and this is the same in both games. They both operate the same way. Your story is on the front, and this one happens to be partially on the back. And then on the back of the card, you have numbers.
And that's
so each location you go to, well, that's the wrong board for what I'm doing.
I know, but this is the time machine.
Okay. But each location gives you a number. You go to the book to that number, and it gives you the clue for that location for this mystery. So both games operate exactly the same. The time machine board is 2 layers where you've got the inner circle and the outer circle. So it takes a little longer to move around in that one. If I had one major complaint about either game, it is the size of the sheets they give you. This is the sheet you have to write all of your notes on. That's it. Oop, there we go. Super tiny. If you don't have immaculate, teeny tiny handwriting, and I do know people who do, but I'm not one of them.
Neither am I.
You're not going to fit on here. So I took this sheet
and made old people sheets
and made old people sheets. Yep, you're right. I did. So both these games are in the fundraiser collection. We actually have not talked about whether we're going to keep them both or not. I guess we probably need to decide that, or if we're only going to keep one of them.
I can see space for both of them.
Yeah.
I mean, because they can play, or do you want to play ones that they're made up or actual true crimes?
I mean, I could definitely see the appeal of both. So I don't know. We haven't made 100% decision.
I think this one's actually a little bit harder than that one.
I think this one is a little harder. Yes, there's more spots to go to.
And the fact that
the clues are very far-fetched because it is time machine based.
Yeah.
There is stuff you got to deal with. It's harder to put the pieces together because of the time machine aspect to it. So
but it does help though, because they both of them tell you is like, well, this is clue number 1 of like.
When you get to the really important clues where they are literally giving you, it's not just telling you so-and-so was here or so-and-so was here with this person. It'll tell you this is your motive clue. Yeah. And there's 3 of them. Here's clue 1 of the motive.
So you know there's going to be 2 more someplace out there in one of the other buildings.
Yeah. So
but anyway, it is a roll and move game.
Yeah, they are rolling moves. Dice could definitely not work in your favor.
Yeah, you could go like the first half of the game, like I did in the last play of that one.
Ones.
I went I rolled 1s and 2s for the first half of the game, and she had like 5 clues to my 1 clue because she was rolling high, and then I was rolling low. But then the rest of the game, though, you started rolling low, and I started rolling high. So it caught up, but it's that luck of the dice thing. But,
oh yeah, I won this one because you didn't figure out one of the clues.
Yeah. And I guessed right on this one, but we got there at the same round.
Yeah. Okay, so there's the 221 Baker Street series.
The next one we are going to talk about is 1313 Dead End Drive. And we also have 13 Dead End Drive.
Yes. Ooh, that one's coming apart.
Yes, I am.
Okay, so this is the older version, obviously. I've seen newer versions of this. I actually saw a copy of this in Barnes and Noble.
Oh, wow.
Yeah, I saw they reprinted it. So
Probably
13,
a smaller box.
no, it was this box.
Oh, was it?
Yeah, it was this box. 13 Dead End Drive was published in 1993 by Hasbro, designed by Michael Mara and David Wyman, art by Andrew Burton and Michael Gray. 1313 was published in 2002, published by Parker Brothers, designed by Andrew Burton. Mind you, he did the art on this guy, plus Michael Mara, who also designed this
You
one.
can tell the art's the same.
Yeah. And then the artist on this one was actually Bill Concannon. Oh, I'm sure Andrew Burton probably had a lot to do with that. Okay, so both of them play 2 to 4 players, specify ages 8 and up, and take 60 to 90 minutes. Both of these sit in our travel collection. They're not in our personal collection. They're in the travel collection.
Both games have a lot of setup.
The setup time is very extensive
Because
on
you're
both of
basically,
these.
it looks like you're building a movie set.
Yeah. Now, once the boards are built, they're great.
Yes.
Oh my gosh, they are so neat. Oops, sorry,
Like that
I
so
see.
that it
I
doesn't fall
realized
open.
as soon as it did that. I
This
knew
box
that's
doesn't
why
like
you
to
did
sit
it.
up on its edge.
No, it does not. Well, it's very thin. So both of them involve having to build the back wall to it.
And then all the
Involve a
other
lot of
traps, too.
clips and putting the traps together, and they are cute, colorful games. I will give them that. Once they're built, they're
Oh yeah,
really
I mean the
fun to
artwork's
play on.
really great.
Oh, the artwork is so neat. So, all right. Differences in play. This one here, you have a inspector who is moving down the path, and you can kind of see him on the board. He's right there.
Yeah.
He's moving down the path. There are cards that you pull out every time you move somebody onto a trap space.
Yeah.
And if you pull an inspector card, you move the inspector. And when he hits the front door, game's over. This one also, everybody start, and both of them, you start with a specific number of cards. Everybody has their people they're trying to get out. And if you can get your person out, then you win, depending on the most amount of money involved.
And that's that one.
There's conditions. Well, this one too. If you can get your person out and he happens to be the picture up here, which changes throughout the game, there's a way to change this.
Yeah,
Then-
the 2 ways to win is to either be last man standing
Right.
or get out when your picture's up here.
Up here. Those are the 2 ways to win this guy without the inspector getting
Getting to the
to
front
the door
door.
first. So that's this one. There's no money involved. You're just trying to kill off your opponents and get out the door while your picture is in the portrait.
Because then you get away with all the money.
Right. This one, there's a money board. Oop, I'm looking at the camera here. There's a money board down here, and you start with money in specific spots. And then as people are killed off, their inheritance is moved to the person right below them. So money can build up very quickly. If you happen to have a decent stack of it and you get your person out the door before getting yourself killed by one of the many traps on the board, then you win if you have the most money. So it's all based on who gets out with the most money.
And you're
in
not
hand.
moving just your person.
Oh, no, you move
There's
anybody
a
you
lot of
want.
bluffing in this game because you don't want people to know who you have because they're going to send them the trap because they can move your pawn as well.
Oh yeah, everybody moves everybody's pawns. You don't want people to know who you are, or you're going to end up on a trap space. Now, mind you, the traps can't be triggered unless you have a card to do so. But getting the cards really isn't that hard.
Now this one though, if somebody was sitting on a trap, but you didn't have the trap card and you went on, the next person comes up, they have that trap card.
Right.
They could throw them
They
the
can
trap.
do the trap.
This one though, if you're not the person putting him on the trap,
You can't
you
trigger
can't
it.
trigger that trap.
You
You
have
have to
to-
move him off and bring him back, but you cannot go on the same spot you were on when
Right.
you move it.
Right.
And you can
backtrack.
move, you're going to roll 2 dice. And you're going to roll, move 2 characters, a number of points on one of the dice.
Right.
So
So if you
like
roll
if
a
you roll
5 and a 3.
5 and a 3, you're going to move 1, 5, 1, 3. Now, if you roll doubles in this game, you get to change the portrait.
Right.
And then you have the option to move just one character all those points. So if you like roll double sixes, you can move one character 12 points.
That's how
And
I
what's-
won the game.
What's really good though is if your portrait comes up, you get double sixes. You're
Close to the door.
That person's only 12 steps
Yeah,
away.
I rolled double
There you
fours.
go.
That's exactly how I won the game
Yeah.
last time. So
So yeah, so you're trying to get theirs out of there without them knowing who you are. And
Right.
you're trying to get your portrait to come up, because once the portrait comes up, that person's already gone, it
You just
leaves.
take
So
the leave,
fewer and
yeah.
fewer cards end up in the picture above the fireplace. So the more you're going to go through it.
Yep.
But this one, like I said, it has the money board, and
Yeah.
the higher you are on the wheel track, which is what the money board is, the more
Yeah.
you get. And
Right.
like she said, when somebody gets off,
But
that
as people
person's
are-
money moves to the
yeah.
right to the next person in line.
right.
So you're trying to, if you got people all down here, which is what I had that game, I didn't have anybody in the first two rows. Mine were all at the bottom.
I think most of mine were, I think I had the first couple people, which you
Mhm.
took out pretty quickly. And then I had a couple people in the middle. And those are the ones I ended up getting out with a decent amount because all this money trickled down to them.
Right. Yeah.
So,
So you're
yeah.
wanting to take out the top people if you can.
Yeah,
I mean, if you have somebody on the top and you can get into the door fast enough,
there you
there
go.
you go. You've got the most money. But yeah, it's the money's all going to trickle down, because once they're gone, they don't get the money, so it goes to some other place. So both of them are really good.
I think they're fun games for what they are.
Mhm.
I wish the setup was easier.
Yes.
It is not, and I don't see
Mhm.
any way to make it
Yeah,
easier.
because if you lose parts, it's because this one has a chandelier right here
Yeah, we
and
were
has this
missing parts
long
on it.
arm that goes back in it, and this thing just sits on it. Well, you finally found the arm
I
someplace.
found the arm on eBay and I did
Okay.
order it.
And then we got the arm, got it in there, and then the chandelier has this little piece that comes through with a little knob on it.
Yeah.
And of course that was broken.
That was broken. Somebody. had
So
taped
we
it. I
just
don't know how
we
missed
taped it
before.
up. We
Yeah, that's
probably
fine.
if we keep the game, we're gonna probably glue it up
Yeah.
or look for it
See,
again. But
and this is another one we've not talked about whether we're going to keep them both or just keep one.
I think they play it different enough.
I think, yeah. Now, there is another game we have that is in the A's called Aunt Millie's Millions or something. I don't remember. I'd have to look it up. which
I
is
don't know
actually
what
right
half
here.
the games are in that other collection. So
Now I'm curious what it's called. Aunt Millie's Millions. I was right.
so
Then
it's a lot
I
like
want to
this
say, well, Aunt Millie's Millions, if I'm not mistaken, is basically
Aunt Millie.
this board.
It's just that board.
I think, I don't know. We've never played it. It's been in that collection forever. But if I remember looking at it, it's this board. It has something to do with this. So we may hold off on deciding whether to keep them both or how we're doing this until we play this. And that will be in our A section. So
Mhm.
next month. Maybe. But anyway,
Maybe.
so we'll see. We're not 100% decided on either of these yet, but I definitely see this one staying. I really like the way this one played with the inspector, that timer of the
Mhm.
inspector showing up. This one I wasn't as enamored with the money issue, but this one I don't know. Oh, we'll see.
Yeah, I like 13 Dead End Drive.
I like this one better between the two. I like the box size of this one better.
Yes, yes.
But I
the
like
store's a
this
lot easier
game
than that
better.
one.
Okay. All right. So there's those two.
Okay, and the last one
Last ones.
is
If you held out this long and watching,
oh,
now we actually get two games from our
Seven Wonders
collection.
Duel, and I'm going to lay this back down.
Yeah. Here, let's just do this.
It has all the
Seven
expansions
Wonders.
in it, other than the ship one. So we have all the expansions for this. This is the first edition. Of course, it's not the second edition. This because first edition has Babel in it, and
Yeah.
Babel has not been released for second
Yeah,
edition. And Babel is a lot of
and-
fun. We've played with every single expansion
Yes.
in here. So we have Seven Wonders and Seven Wonders Duel.
Yeah.
This one makes it the table a lot more in our house because it's usually just the two of us playing it.
Right.
But I really, really, really enjoy Seven Wonders.
I do too. I like the mechanics of this one. I like the drafting aspect of this one, but you're right. With just two players, I don't think it plays that well.
Mhm.
That being said, we've never tried the two-player variant,
No, we haven't.
but I've
we
not
don't
ever
need to
heard a
'cause
good
we
thing
have
about
this.
it. But yeah, we have this. So the
I-
basics.
yeah.
All right. Seven Wonders was first published in 2010. Obviously, there's a newer edition out now with different artwork, but this is a 2010 edition. Plays 2 to 7 players in roughly 30 minutes, ages 10 and up. Designed by,
Antoine Boza.
thank you. I could not.
I was just
read
say
my
you're going to
handwriting.
stumble over that one.
I was, yes, I could not read my handwriting. Okay. This one here, published by Repost Productions. This one here also published by Repost Productions. 2015, plays 2 players, ages 10 and up. roughly 30 minutes. I think both time frames are pretty accurate for both games. They both play pretty fast. Designed by Antoine Boza and Bruno Cathala, and art by Miguel Coimbra. So there's all the basic information. Now,
they're almost two separate types, two separate games. I mean, the same basic concept.
Same. Sorry, the cat was sneezing.
He's still sneezing.
Poor baby. All right. Same concept, same iconography, same, all of that's the same.
So if you've played this one's a little,
it is very easy to pick up,
easier to play.
So with this one, it's a basic drafting mechanics. You take out all the cards that are not used for a specific player count. Everybody gets 7 cards, and then you simply draft them around the table until you've got 1 card left, and that card goes into the middle. With this guy, the cards are laid out in a pattern, and there's different patterns depending on the era. Both of them play in 3 eras. Very similar there. Each one, the eras themselves are pretty similar, whereas era 1 is a lot of building materials. Era 2 has still some building material. Era 3, you're not going to see any building materials, but now you're getting into your guilds. Guilds are typically a lot of end game scoring.
Both of them have the war in it.
Yep, both of them have war in it. Both have science.
Now, science is a little different in Duel than
they
it is
score
in
differently.
Here.
Yes,
and that's one of the winning conditions in this one. If you get all 7 sciences, which means the little, if you look on here, this is the battle board. Let me put it up there in case people have never seen it. This is the battle board up there. The bottom part is the war track. Yeah. So as you're putting out things, you're not checking it every round as how many do you have. You're keeping track of it up here. If you get the battle coin pushed all the way to your opponent's side, you automatically win. Yeah, or the top of it shows these little green discs that go down there, like they're showing up on these cards here. And one of them has a 7th science emblem.
Yeah.
So if you get all 7 of them, you automatically win before the game's over.
Yeah, there's a couple ways to win before you even finish the 3rd age, and those are the 2 conditions. So I personally love them both. This one took a while to learn to like. This one took a minute.
This one is a lot more hate drafting, because if you look at the way the boards are set up, that's like the first round.
Yeah,
you can see what's coming up, and like if you was to draft where we at there, that card, you're going to open those other 2 cards above it to your opponent. So now that person has she's using my opponent. She has 3 cards to pick from. You only had 2, so you're like going, gosh, what's underneath those? I don't want to open up something that she's going to get, and then I need it.
Yeah, it does. It makes it a lot trickier because you have to watch what you're opening up to your opponent.
Right. In this one, if you don't have the resource you need to build something, you pay. Is it 2 coins for each resource or something like that? And there's cards that you only have to pay 1 coin to resource, and you can only buy from your neighbors. This one, though, if you need the resource, it is 2 coins plus a coin for every type of that resource that your opponent has. So if I you need a brick, if you need a brick, and I have like 3 bricks out, it's going to cost you 3 more coins plus what it's initially going to cost for each brick you have to buy.
So it gets exponentially more expensive. Both great games still. Definitely going to stay in our collection. This was actually one of our earlier games. We've had this since very early in the collection. And this one I think we bought fairly or as soon as it came out. So both of them have been in our collection for quite a while now, and they'll both stay.
Yeah. I really like playing that one.
No, I do too.
Like playing this one.
But this one's just harder to get to the table because of number of players.
And you like It's a Wonderful World better.
I do.
I like that one better.
And Wonderful World can be played 2-player though.
Yes.
So that is our number series. Yeah. So next month we will start diving into the A's.
And there's a lot of them.
There's a lot of A's. I have 3 pages full of A's.
So it could be a couple months of A's.
Very possibly. So we're going to try and do this once a month, maybe more often, depending on how many plays we get in and what else is happening in life in general. But definitely once a month, for sure. So that.
So if you've seen any of these games, if you have any of these games, if you like the games, what's your opinions? If you're interested in 39 Clues, let us know, because we're getting rid of it.
Yeah.
But yeah, just let us know down below. You can also hit us up on social medias, Instagram, Twitter, Facebook, and we have a BGG guild.
Plus, there's the podcast. You can always
Plus,
catch us
there's
on our
the
podcast.
podcast you can listen to, or you can email us at meeplesociety@mail.com.
Yep.
So,
And of course, as always, be sure to subscribe to the channel,
yeah, if you like
the
this
video,
kind of stuff,
hit the bell. You know the drill. All right.
So, with that, we will see you next month in the A's.